Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Those Foreign Guys.
Do you know what episode we're on?
We are on episode There's No Dogger again.
I think he has missed the most episodes.
No, he has. The man's Mr. Worldwide, always traveling.
should we pop a tab for the boy? Rest in peace.
In honor
again.
of Dogger. I'm not finishing this beer.
That's fine. Yeah, for some reason, everyone on the podcast besides me has committed to this no drinking policy.
Well, in April, but I decided I'm going to start early, and now here I am drinking the beer for the podcast.
For the podcast.
Not for you,
start
Hannah.
in April.
No, not for you.
Not for me. Well,
I don't know. Then
to be
again,
fair, Brian's the one that said he wanted to drink.
Next week I might want to go to Vietnam.
Oh.
Hello? Maybe we take our boy Mike, Patreon
Yeah.
boy Mike is in Korea.
He
We take
wanted
him
to
to
be
Vietnam.
here.
Yeah, he wanted to be here, but he's hiking Bukhansan. And I'll leave it there. I'll just leave it there.
He's got like, what, a month left, so... Or he's a month total.
A month total, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got about, 2 weeks left?
So if we find a time,
Week and a half,
Hopefully.
2 weeks, yeah.
but if not, Mike, next time you come, please come on the podcast.
Hey, just make time. Imagine our Patreon flies you all the way just for us.
We can
And
say
you're
that.
like, fuck it, I'm going to see that guy.
Yeah, I'm
Dog
down.
and I have met
I
him
want him
just
to
a
come
couple
on.
of times already, yeah.
I want to go out.
He's a cool,
I
he's
wanna
a
meet
chill
him.
dude. He's pretty fun.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard crazy stories about Mike.
He's a funny dude. Like
Magic Mike.
Oh God! Now you're putting images into my head. No, last night he went out and I commented on one of his Instagram stories, and this morning he woke up and he was like, "Man, I have no recollection of posting that," and it's just of him bouncing to the music with front camera, and then he goes, "Kyowo." Which is the word on our first night, it means cute, but the first night we met, a Korean girl was trying to teach him how to say this so he can, attempt to flirt with people,
Yeah.
but he just couldn't say it. So a week later, he's just Kyowo.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on. It'd be cool to get someone's experiences, like a new person to Korea, like hearing their first experiences and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say if he has a month only, partying and forgetting the nights, it's a great way to spend it. I think that's kind of what every foreigner guy has to do when they come here.
And then they go home and your parents are like, "What did you do?" "I don't know. Can't remember."
Yeah, I feel like when like female expats come, like they have a little bit more like wide interests.
Don't say that word.
Female expats?
Oh, don't say both of those words.
Wait, why? Why? Is there something that I'm not aware of?
Like the word expat, it rubs me the wrong way. It's this
Yeah.
sort of, the latest cultural war thing, which, to be honest, I think is also just stupid sometimes. But the reason why I hate expat is just because of, especially how white Americans tend to use it. Not to throw you guys under the bus, but throwing you guys under the bus. Of like, oh, the immigrants are coming, the Mexicans are coming. Oh, but when you go, you're an expat.
I see what you're saying.
Huh. And then, a lot of them try to defend, but it's temporary work. Just like some of the Mexicans.
Yeah.
And yet they are called immigrants. So I'm just like, fuck that word.
Okay, fair enough. So when some of the female immigrants come to Korea, I feel like
I don't know how that became worse.
that's what you told me to say.
I don't know how that became worse. When tourists.
Okay, well, when female tourists come to Korea, I feel like some of the interests that they have are a little bit more like aligned with like the tourist aspect of Korea, like with K-dramas and K-pop and like all that kind of stuff. I feel like the majority of people that are going to be interested in that are usually female. I mean, of course, yeah, males are also interested in it, but when guys come to Korea, most of the stories I've heard are just them going out and getting drunk.
But it's also kind of funny
When they're
because
here.
it's like a ratio, because I've been to a couple of pub crawls and there are usually more women than men.
Really? Because I feel like in mine it's supposed to be more guys than girls.
When you were there, when you were working, think about that. You can take it two ways, Hannah. You can take it two ways.
Were they avoiding me?
Either they were avoiding you or men were very interested in you.
Oh, I mean, it sounds like that as a compliment.
Oh, yeah, take it.
I need to get us somewhere. I mean,
What's your opinion on any of this? Have you noticed any trends?
No.
No. No comment.
No comment. I don't
what
want
is
to
your
be
opinion?
involved in this.
What's your
conversation.
opinion of the phrasing between expats and immigrants?
He is an immigrant.
He's also a tourist.
Oh,
and also an expat. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, what you say makes sense. I've heard that before too, and yeah, it's true. Like, yeah, when people come here, they're like, "Oh, I'm an expat," but I don't know why. Like, for me, just the sound of the word just bugs me.
no, I know.
I don't like that word.
Expat, expatriate,
I must say, is it short for something?
Expatriate.
yeah.
Interesting.
Expedition. I don't know what the hell. You know, it's like you expedited yourself to another country. I don't know.
I will say it's not a term I use a lot. I think I just usually say foreigners.
Except for when you talk to minorities. And now suddenly you're using the word expat to differentiate yourself.
I think I was talking. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm thinking in terms of like other terminology where I've heard it, and I think on social media, expat is a very popular word to be used in terms of like Korean social media, like not Korean social media, foreigners in Korea on social media.
Yeah, because
living in Korea, they call themselves expats.
No,
a
I
lot.
was say that's like the whole.
But it's not only
issue.
in Korea.
Yeah,
it's
not only in
everywhere.
Korea.
When,
Everywhere.
when Western people travel somewhere else,
Yeah.
they're expats. But when, let's say, underdeveloped people from developing countries travel to those Western countries, they're immigrants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've actually never made that connection. That's very interesting
So
to me.
that's why I'm like,
That's fair. I'm gonna start calling us immigrants from now on.
But I do like the
Well,
word
he's
sexpat.
not an expat. Though.
what?
Wait, what?
Whoa. This man he just
Wait, I think I was talking
With
over
a
you. Can
left
you
hook.
repeat that?
Huh?
I think I was talking over you at the time. Can you repeat
I
that?
do like the word sexpat.
Sexpat.
Yeah.
What does that mean? By
It
chance?
means a person who travels to other countries just for, having intercourse.
Interesting. Would you say that there's a lot of those in Korea?
Oh, yeah. I think there's a lot of those everywhere.
What's the ratio on that one?
What do you mean?
We were talking about ratios. Like I was saying that the in terms of like the K-pop, K-drama people, there's a lot more females than males. What's your
I don't fucking
take
think
on that?
about that.
You know, the ratio isn't men or women. The ratio for that is which race you are.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
How many
right.
white men do you know and white women
None.
do you know?
I don't know zero. I know zero white people. Sorry.
Yeah.
I guess Dogger. In which case, yeah, I guess you're kind of right.
I'm kidding. No, I mean, everyone likes to feel good. So aren't we all sex
We do
bats?
have somewhere down the pipeline of Foreign Guys episodes. We do have a sex positive podcast planned at some point to talk
We will.
more about like the sex scene in Korea and stuff like that. But we don't have our expert here today, so let's not get into.
And when we say expert, it just as a sort of Easter egg.
not expert in the way that Brian's an expert.
in the way Brian's an expert. But
What?
we do have someone who's got a degree and has worked in the sexology field.
Yeah, but when you're talking about this kind of stuff, would you prefer to listen to someone who has a degree or someone that has a lot of experience?
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was doing one hand or the other hand. I wasn't pointing at you. My bad.
Oh my god.
No, that's why we'll have both. We'll have Brian and our guest speaker,
Hey.
and you, me, Dogger will just be behind the cameras and let those two talk about what it should be and what it is.
I'm trying to think. What are some other ones that I've heard? I mean, like, there's a lot of like expat labeled expat websites for like English teachers and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
too that I've heard about. So I think maybe that's also where I hear it. But I guess that's probably a lot of white people making those for being English teachers.
I
And
mean,
stuff
also
like
not
that.
to just drag on white people. I don't want to,
But Western, yeah.
but like just Westerners in general, people from developed countries, which the majority just happen to be white, at least
Yeah.
in the Korean sense, tend to use this sort of othering language. And it's
Right.
just like, come on. We are all coming here for a better life, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you haven't and you're complaining too much, go back. Go back. You know who you are.
If you're listening, you know.
Yeah, no, I think, like, I don't have a problem saying I'm an immigrant.
Yeah. Me too. How-
Or alien, as we used
alien.
to be called.
Oh, I missed that. I
Well,
honestly
that
missed
even got people like upset. Like they've
Yeah.
changed that whole system now. So I'm excited because big news for me this week. I changed my visa. Yay! I guess I'm not the only one changing visas, but yeah, changing visas. Yeah.
I did
And
change mine, though.
Are you officially on the new one?
No.
What
not
are
yet.
you? Oh, you're just a tourist visa now.
Yeah, I'm on the KETA, I think.
Yeah.
KTA.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited because I'll get my new ARC card, which they're still called ARCs.
Yeah.
Man, I don't.
But they
think-
don't have
yeah.
the word alien on them, and they've taken the word alien
We're
off.
not going to call them RCs. I tell you that. It just sounds weird.
SRCs. Wait, what did you call
RCs,
it?
just R.
RCs? Oh, resident card. Yeah, that's the name now.
cards. I think we'll still call them
FRC. IRC.
foreign.
Foreign resident card.
Immigrant.
resident card.
In before the Americans come, ERC,
ERC.
ERC. But every other country except for America gets like
You get a
Get
separate
something
card.
else. Get
Ours just has an American
IRC.
flag on the background, printed in the back. It's like the mix between the Korean flag and the American flag. No, I'm excited. So like so when you come to Korea, if you're not on a tourist visa, if you're on like an actual like student visa or working visa, you get like an ID card basically. And in the past, we've always called it the ARC because it stands for Alien Registration Card. Well, I guess like a year ago, 2 years ago,
RC, I think.
I don't know if it was like a push from foreigners living in Korea or if it was just a thing the government was like, we should change this for the sake of changing it.
I tell you what, it's not that.
I would think not,
I
but
tell you
also
about
I've
that.
never heard anyone complaining that, oh, why are we called aliens? Most of us have seemed to
I
embrace
have
it.
heard, but it's always like the dumb idiots that complain about everything.
Okay.
But there are a lot of things that happen that people just don't tend to hear about unless you're following news and things
Gotcha.
like that.
Yeah.
So
So they've changed it. They took the word alien off, so now it's just resident card. And honestly, that's not the biggest change on it, in my opinion. The biggest change is that my picture is finally going to be in color.
Wait,
and
did
I
you
don't
submit a
look
new
like
picture?
a serial killer. Yes.
you had to submit a new picture.
My old
Makes
ID
sense.
picture is like this black and white image of me, and I look like a serial killer. It looks like a
Mine
mugshot.
was also black and white.
Everyone's was
Yeah.
on the old card.
I remember I had one where I didn't look like a serial killer, but I looked like a bum.
Yeah.
I looked like I was homeless because when I changed, I didn't realize they have to give me an entirely new card. And so I went into one of those booths at the immigration center and just took a picture
Yeah, that's
there.
what I did.
And then I was like, oh, this looks horrible. Redo. And the second one looked even worse. I was like, well, I'm fucked.
Yeah, it only gives you two
well, I'm
chances to
fucked,
take
yeah.
it.
So I just never carried my ARC around because I was so ashamed of
your
looking
picture?
homeless.
I
yeah.
always had people like do a double take on me when I gave them my card because like if I didn't have my hair grabbed or something, like the ARC card that I had was when I first got here. So the picture I had like short hair and it was all very neat and combed and everything. And then I'd just be like with fucking long hair like this, and then people would be like,
Is
"It's you?" Yeah, it's me.
I feel like when I still had long hair, rest in peace, I had that in the US so much. Because my passport is from like 2016 or something. And everyone was just like, what the fuck? And then I always have to just... and so these are like, oh, it is you.
I do sometimes get that with my passport because that was when I had my beard. Well, I
Oh,
literally call it a beard
God.
when I had the rat living on my face. People will look at it and they'll be like, "Is that you?" I'm like,
Isn't this a
Yeah.
mountain goat?
They're like, "Is this you? Please don't ever do this again." I'm like, "It's okay, I won't. I've been told enough times that this is not what I need to have."
They should just be like, "But why?"
Yeah, well, that's basically the reaction. They're like, "But why? You look so much better without it."
What
I'm
were
like,
you
"Thank
going for? So how was the changing process of going from student visa to job seeking visa?
Yeah, so my old visa was the student visa. New one is, it's 2 years long technically. I can be extended up to 2 years, but I can only have to do it every 6 months. But I was kind of worried because everyone just always talks about their immigration horror stories, and it's always if the person is in a good mood that day,
Oh,
if
yeah.
they like you, if they're not racist, if whatever it could be, whatever the little minute details are. And this visa works on a point system, so you get points based off your age and your education and where you're from, and blah 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 blah. And you have to qualify with enough points. And if the person behind the desk just doesn't think you deserve those points, they can just not give you those points for certain things. And so I was like just worried, like, oh, I hope this person's nice to me, whatever. They were super, super nice. They gave me all the points, and I got through. It was interesting because one of the ways you get points is like the world rankings for universities.
I have a funny story on that one.
And that if there's one called the QS World Rankings,
Yes.
and if your university's in the top 500, you get an extra 20 points. Luckily, Sejong's ranked 460 or something like that, so I technically qualified. So I went, but I was like, how do I prove this? Like what do I need to do? So I just took a screen grab of the page and just where it said 469 and just big circle around it, and just kind of handed it to her. It was like, I just printed this off. I didn't know what I needed to do to prove this, but she was just like, oh, that's fine, plus 20. And I was like, okay, cool, that worked. But I was just worried that she'd be like, I don't trust this. Sorry, I don't think Sejong's a good school, so I'm not going to give you the points kind of situation.
Though, so because I'm thinking about applying, or I'm trying to apply for the FEs when I qualify at the end of this year or next year, that's also one of the requirements for our point system. And man, the university I graduated from is slowly just falling lower and lower on that list. I'm like, please don't exit the top 500 by the time it's time for me to apply. Not like
if
this.
you could, if it did
Not like
drop,
this.
if you could just go in and be like, when I graduated, it was
Yeah,
this
that's what
rank.
I'm thinking. It's like, how do I, tell them? When I graduated, we were like top 300, baby.
Yeah, but I would
Get me
also be
in.
careful
Just
because
do
there's
the
a
same
lot
thing.
of
Take a screenshot of it while it's still.
And we just
Up
remove
there.
the date.
because she didn't double check.
And double
anything.
check? Okay, cheers.
But again, that could just be because she was nice and saw a
Yeah.
cute little white boy at her table and was like, yeah, I'll give you the points,
Get
buddy.
me out.
But no, yeah, I would say double check on that because there's also like, this is kind of what I'm not really worried about, but just going in the future, like if I have to apply for different visas and stuff, is I might not get those points because I've saw some stipulation that says like within 3 years of graduating. So I would double check on those kind
It
of
doesn't
things.
make sense because if you apply for the F visa and they have a stipulation like that, no one can get points from that.
I agree.
Which doesn't make and then
I
and
agree.
then no one would get an F visa is what I'm saying. So
I agree.
I don't think
But
that can be a thing.
on a lot of the things I saw, there was like this little quotation that said, in the period of 3 years after graduating, you get like less points. Like still some points, but not as many points if it's after 3 years. But yeah, I don't know. I'll just double check. But now, yeah, we got the tourist over here. You went, where did you go?
Philippines.
Yeah.
Man, it
How's
wasn't
that?
a tour. He went for like half a day.
He was supposed to go to China.
Yeah,
Oh
basically.
yeah, why didn't you go to China? What is that whole
So
China story?
I was gonna go to China because I wanted to just get like the free transit visa, but in order to get that one, you have to fly to a third country, and so coming back to Korea doesn't qualify as a third country. So then they were like, "Oh no, sorry, you can't because you have to fly somewhere else." So then I was like, "Okay, just cancel that flight." While I was at the airport, I was just looking for the next cheapest thing, and the next cheapest thing happened to be Philippines. So. Booked a flight there. I have a friend there as well, so we met up and just hung out for a while. Next day I came back.
Yeah, where'd you hang out? Cebu, Manila?
In Manila. He lives there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Is that like a party town?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
There's
Parties.
parties.
Cool.
but it was a Sunday too. So, but anyways, I got back. I had to hand in my ARC, and then I'm here with the KETA. But I got the documents from my school, so I'm going to apply next week for the new visa.
The student visa, right?
Yeah.
I
look at these
forgot about that.
switcheroonies.
Yeah, I forgot that was the next step for you. Is you have to apply again.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
so
because
stressful.
I couldn't change it directly from my previous visa.
Yeah.
So I had to do that. But
So you'll be
yeah.
on D4 visa?
Yeah, I think it's D41.
Yeah. So that's what I was on when I
But
first came.
it's so stupid too because like right now I don't have my phone number has been temporarily suspended.
Because of the ARC thing.
Because I don't
That's
have an
awkward.
ARC
yeah.
anymore. So I like called them. I called my phone provider and I told them because I got a message. It says you have left the country, so your phone is going to be suspended, and you have this much time until it's going to be permanently disabled. So I called them and I'm like, I didn't leave the country. I'm here. I mean, I did, but I'm back. I'm here. And they're like, yeah, but your visa expired, so you can't have your number. And I'm like, okay, but I'm changing my visa, so can you like just not and
can you just not, please?
And but it was so dumb too because the person that was helping me was like, okay, but you need to call immigration and they're gonna give you a document. And I'm like, okay, what document? And she basically didn't know what it was called.
Oh no, this is
So I'm like, so she's like, you need to go to call immigration and then they're gonna give you a document and then you can ask for this. And I'm like, but what document is it? And they're like, oh yeah, it's and then I was just like, well, if you don't know what document it is, how do I tell immigration that I need which document I need? So basically, I could not solve that, and I'm just temporarily without a phone until I get my thing.
What's the period of time on before permanent deactivation?
I think
Because
it's
I feel like that causes a lot of problems. If that
it's
happens.
I can't remember now, but I think it's either 30 or 60 days.
Okay, so you have time then.
Yes, I do.
Because once you apply, because from my understanding, like once you apply for the visa, because this is what happened to me, they took my ARC because they have to issue me a whole new one with my new visa information.
your system is a bit different.
Oh, I was just gonna say
than
they gave me a piece of paper after the application process that basically says you are in the processing period.
Yeah.
And saw that. So that might be the document that they're talking about. So once you apply for that new visa,
yeah,
you could probably show that and be like, look, I'm getting the visa. I just don't have it right now. Here's the number.
Yeah.
And then they can check. Because once you go through the application process and they file it, that number will activate again.
Yeah.
Your ARC number, I mean.
Yeah, I hope so. So yeah, just hanging around without a phone.
But I also do love how just no one knows what documents to get for the foreigners
That's
in
so
Korea.
typical.
Because even when I was doing my taxes, my manager was like, "Oh, why isn't your wife linked to your tax profile?" And I was like, "Good question," because they gave us her visas connected to me, but immigration just never connected her taxes to me as well, because she's on a dependent visa.
Oh.
So she doesn't work in Korea, so all of
I've always
the
wondered
taxes and things
Me
go
and-
through me.
Me and her have never had a conversation about
She's
what
a-
she does in Korea.
She's a tax deductible for me. That's what she does.
I need to get me one of those.
I get me some money back is what happens.
How do I get me a tax
I get me
deductible?
some money back is what happens. But we just couldn't access it. And so I had to go to immigration. My work had to extend the deadline for the taxes and ask for extensions because they were like, shit, I'm going to have to pay more in taxes because they messed up.
Yeah.
But we called immigration. We searched online. We just had no idea what document to give them to let them say, okay, now we can activate. It was this entire super long process that eventually my manager found out after just going through the website manually by herself for like an hour or two. And then when I went to immigration, they just didn't ask for anything. They were like, why are you here? And I was like, well, we need to put my wife on my, link the account. And the woman was like, counter 11. I go to counter 11. I tell the same thing to the woman. And 5 minutes later, Lawrence connected to my account. And I'm like, what did I have to do? They just didn't look at any of the documents. They just took the stuff and were like, okay, here we go. And I was just like,
Trusted
what?
you, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with that school ranking thing. Like, there's no. It says if your school's on the top, and it's like, okay, how do I show you this? Are you going to look it up on your computer, or what am I going to do? So I just brought the piece of paper, and they were like, oh yeah, whatever.
But it's so weird because her visa is already connected to mine, and there is a way you can do things by yourself, like connect your, like the Koreans have it, you connect your spouse to you for deductibles and things like that.
Sure.
Only they just refused my application online.
So you had to go in and.
So I had to go in, yeah. Waste the
So
whole day.
basically, bureaucracy in Korea sometimes can be very weird.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, but I won't say that it's that too bad because, like, I've seen bad. Ecuador is bad.
I was thinking about South Africa. Nice.
China is ridiculously, like, so much red tape. Like, it's just so much shit. It takes so long. And Korea is at least fast, but yeah, sometimes it can be stressful in that nobody really seems to know exactly what you need. And then
Nobody.
And then sometimes, like, you'll go and then they told you needed certain things, but then they're like, yeah, we don't need that. And then you just do it. So at least it's fast, but it's very confusing.
It's confusing as shit. No, it's so confusing.
I mean, I've had times when I call immigration for like some information, and if I call twice or 3 times, I get 3 different answers.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
told when Hunter was getting. I told him, call twice. If you get the same answer, you know it's right.
Yeah.
Because so often they just gonna give you random shit all the time.
So at least it's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you my story about how I almost never got a job despite having a job because immigration told me the incorrect stuff?
No.
When I first applied, I was like, oh yeah, let's get a job. But the plan was when I'm changing from my job seeking visa and applying for the E2 visa,
Which is
there
the
was
teaching visa.
The teaching visa. There was still a gap of where I could go on vacation before I started working. And I said, Lauren, let's do the application, go to Japan for a week, come back, and I start working. It's nice, right? I have a little rest before I dedicate my life to the,
To the grind.
to the grind.
I know where this
And
is going.
I call immigration and I tell them the entire thing. They're like, yeah, just apply. You can go and you can come back. I'm like, nice. I'm like, wait, let's call again. Call a second time. You get a slightly different answer, but still kind of along the same lines. And I'm like, nice. And I go to immigration and I'm like handing my things, doing everything. And she's like, okay, so we're going to need to take this and this and this. And I'm like, wait, but I need that. I need my passport because I'm going to Japan. I'm leaving in like 5 hours. And she's like, whoa, you can't leave when your visa is being processed. And I was like, but I called twice. And she's like, I need to talk to the manager. And I'm like, shit, what do I do? And so I call my HR guy and I'm like, hey, so blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you're going to Japan? I was like, yeah, I didn't think I need to tell my future employees about my vacation before I have the job, you know? But he was just like, oh, no. He was like, oh, because they'd already pushed my start date back a couple of times because we couldn't find an appointment date to go into the immigration. So they just kept on extending. And he sort of, I could feel they kind of got tired of having to wait for me.
Yeah.
And it was just so confusing. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going to have to choose or, you know, not going to Japan or just getting this job. And I'm like, fuck. We booked all non-refundable tickets, hotels, and everything. And I was just like, fuck, what do we do? And the woman comes back and I'm like, I'll call you back. Put on the phone and she's like, okay. She hands me my ARCN passport. She's like, I'm going to book you a ticket, or like, you know, a fast-track immigration ticket. The Monday I come back, she said, come, give everyone this. We will accept you even though you don't have an appointment. So I'm like, oh, God bless. Call my HR, explain to him, but he's not buying it. He's still kind of, he's like, are you sure? She said you can come back Monday, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. She said it, okay. Put down the phone, go to Japan for a week, come back, time to go to immigration, hand them everything, including this little sticky note that the woman wrote for me saying, that all that sticky note said was, he can come back Monday and then the date. So I come back with this sticky note and I'm just sitting there smiling and the woman at immigration is not buying it. She's like, staring at it like, nah. And by some chance of miracle, the woman who was helping me the previous week walked by and was like, oh, you, come to my counter. I was like, oh thank you.
And you got everything was fine?
And then everything was fine. But I was like, even when I was in Japan, I was just thinking about, do I have a job when I get back? Cause like,
are you going to be let back in the country?
Am I going to be let back? Am I going to have to, you know, get deported or something?
Yeah, that's so stressful.
But yeah, it's killer.
They kind of said that to me too when I did this thing, is when I handed them all the stuff. They still gave me my passport and stuff back, but they said, don't leave the country. And I was like, huh? And they were like, don't leave the country until your stuff is finished. And I was like, I ain't got money to do that anyways. It's fine with me. I ain't going nowhere. Good with me. But I remember the story I was going to tell. When I was doing my part-time job last semester.
Oh, I thought about this story as well.
I had to you have to, as a student, you have to kind of apply for a part-time job. And then once you get the part-time job, before you can start working, you have to get everything approved by immigration. And so I went into immigration and I gave them all the stuff and they denied it. And I was like, that's weird. Like, everything's in order as it should have been. I don't know why they're not letting me do this. So I call and I'm asking like, hey, can you explain to me why I was denied for this? And they said, well, you have to have topic level 4. And I said, that's weird because it's just serving at a restaurant where half the customers speak English anyway. So why is that a big deal? I can speak a little bit of Korean and I have some topic level, enough to be able to work at a restaurant, I think, but they denied it. So I was like, well, that's weird. So I look it up, and on the official immigration website, it says that if you're working this many hours a week or less, you don't need topic. So I told the boss there, and I was like, hey, they said I can't work this many hours a week unless I have this certification for Korean language skill. I said, but I can work this many hours with the one that I do have. Yeah. And they said, okay, let's do that. So we refill out all the applications, we sent it in with the appropriate work hours, and they sent it back to be rejected. And they said, nope, you need topic 4 to do it. I'm like, that's not what the website says. But I'm doing all this online, so there's not like a person that I'm talking to. They're just looking at it online. And I went back and forth for like a month and a half with immigration, trying to just be able to wear this part-time job. And then that's what happened. The owner was just like, Hunter, like, this is just taking so long that we can't just keep waiting on you. We're just got to find somebody else. And I was like, that's fair. Whatever. I was only going to be able to work till like February anyway. So whatever. So it worked out in the end, I guess. But yeah, they can be annoying on situations like that.
So, Bryant, fighting dreamer.
Fighting.
No, mine should be fine, I think, because I just need to. I already have the documents. I just need to take them to say like, I've been accepted to the school. Here are the school's credentials.
Which school are you going to again?
Mine.
Yeah,
Sejong.
Sejong.
Yeah, we're classmates. I'm in Sonbei.
Don't.
You have to address me with honorifics now because I'm your I'm your upperclassman.
Actually, I kind of like that. No, I like it. Look at the irritation in his face. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Hey, it's Korean culture, man. You're gonna go to Korean university. You gotta abide.
Whenever we go out to eat and you call Hana, I'm gonna just say no, Sombe. Sombe name.
I'm really curious how that works in Korea with the age. I mean, I would think that age would take priority over upperclassmanships.
I've actually asked a lot of my students this because I was also curious. How does the dynamic work when your boss is younger than you, or someone changed their degree midway through and now they're the same gear as you, but not the same age.
Like and like personal things, I think I would still refer to him as young, but like maybe in a school setting, he would say sombe.
So in a school setting, what I've been told is that these days most people don't care too much.
Yeah.
If we're in the same year, it is whatever.
Right.
So they go by year. You're a younger year than me, even if you're slightly older, a year or two older, you're still my junior. If you are a year above me and you're younger, you're my senior. But for the most part, they don't care at school these days anymore.
Gotcha.
It's just very casual. In the office...
Well, I care, so you call me something.
And in the office, it
Slap
doesn't
you.
actually matter because they just call you by your title anyways.
Yeah.
So there's
Interesting.
no real... Not to say there's no real hierarchy, but the hierarchy system works
It's
differently
changing a little bit,
to the
yeah.
social structure. You just-
Interesting.
Well, I'm not Korean, so
And I'm not Korean, so yeah, you get the pass. No,
Get the
actually,
pass.
it's
You can't give him the pass. Hold up, this ain't the 1800s or 1980.
my bad. Sorry, I can't give you that pass, but I can give you the not calling me Sombe pass. No, but it's actually cool. So, my university for the international students, they actually offer free Korean classes. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast the last time I did these, but if you're an international student there, you can sign up for these free Korean classes. It's like 11 weeks of classes, 2 times a week. It's not like an intensive course like some of the other, like he's going to be doing, because yours is going to be 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
So
Did
his
you
is,
choose the
his is
morning
like
or the afternoon?
I'm
Which
not
slot?
sure because like I've seen 2 schedules there. There's
Yeah.
one that has like the topic thing, but I don't want to do that. I applied for morning.
You apply for one, okay.
But like whenever I would see the schedules there, it's really hard. The website doesn't really specify if like they are separate or they are the same. So basically, either I'm studying only morning or I'm studying full time.
I think, no, you're studying in the morning, but full-time in the morning. So it's going to be 4 hours back-to-back.
Yeah,
Back-to-back
no,
hours.
but
Yeah.
but like it's a little bit confusing. I don't know if it's like
Because
what would it be like
At
8
least when
hours or
I
something?
did it, no, at least when I did it, the topic thing is separate. You must apply and join.
Yeah,
that.
well, I
no,
hope
that-
so
that's-
because I don't
yeah,
fucking
no,
want to do
That's
that.
entirely
Yeah,
separate.
that's
So
like
you
that's
do
like a test prep.
Yeah,
class.
that's
You don't
Yeah,
have to do
and-
specifically for test
And
prep. Yeah.
not only that, but like some of those hours are just kind of like practicing with a Korean
Yeah.
person type
Yeah.
of thing. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude, I got shit to do.
I can do that at home.
You do like that
Oh.
8 to 12 one or 9 to 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, gonna be doing morning classes. Nice.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, my school offers these free Korean classes for the international students, which is separate from what he's gonna be doing. His is more like intensive. So mine's only 2 days a week, 2 hours a day, and I saw that they were like advertising them. The way you do it is you have like a down deposit. It's like $50, and then if you go to 80% of classes or more, you get the money back at the end.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's technically free classes as long as you go, and you don't waste their time, basically.
Yeah.
And so there's 3 different classes. There's like the regular Korean class, the topic prep class, and then like a resume building interview prep class.
Ooh, that's nice.
And I was like, oh, these sound great, and I have nothing going on right now.
Quite literally.
Yeah. So I was like, it would be great if I could spend my time practicing
Uh-huh.
Korean and getting ready for topic, because I'm scheduled to take the topic 2 exam in May. And so I was like, I should just go ahead and get ready for this and prep for this. So I was like, but I'm graduated, so I don't know if I can still do it. So I go in while I'm at school one day, and I asked the guy, I was like, hey, I graduated, but I don't know, am I still allowed to apply for this? And he was like, I don't think so. Like, he's like, you still have your student number? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, can you still log in on the website? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, just apply and don't tell him. And I was like, you're a genius. Thank you.
That's
and so
what I
I
was
applied.
literally thinking.
I applied for all 3, paid the fee for all 3. It's going to be Tuesday through Saturday. I got into all of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
they sent me the confirmation emails
your
like yesterday.
student cards in Korea last so fucking long.
Yeah.
I did that course as well for like 6 months at Yonsei. I still walk around with my student card.
Mm-hmm.
Discount. Nobody knows.
Yep. So
Oh,
I get
man,
some
I
free
can
Korean
get a
lessons.
You can get student discounts at places. I think you might be a bit suspicious.
I don't know if Sejong will give a student ID.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why not?
I just don't know. Because
I got one.
I didn't get one for Sogang.
Oh, I got
When I
one for
went.
Yonsei.
No, I did get one for Sogang.
Yeah,
Okay, then yeah,
you
probably
must get
Yeah,
one.
you should get. You
must
always get one.
If you're on the campus, you need to.
Yeah.
As a student, you need to have a student card. It's like one of the requirements to be a fucking university.
I don't know when mine expires. I'll have to check my wallet later. I forgot to get.
I think they do
renewed.
expire like 7 years or something. But it's a ridiculously long time.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's why I was like, when I got it, I was like,
We can go to the library together. They just remodeled it. It's a really nice library. We can
I
go.
can't picture Hunter in a
study
library
together.
for the life of me. If you
just go
go with
library
him,
all the time.
take a picture because I straight can't picture that shit.
Why?
I'm gonna have to draw that one because I can't believe it.
I mean,
Wait, do they have like a nice amount of English books? Like
in the library? I
Yeah.
don't know. I never rented books in the library. I just went to study.
this man never went to the library.
But
No, I did. It's a
I
nice
can
study area.
help you sign up for Seoul City Hall Library. They have a lot of English books and it's free.
Wait, it's free?
Yeah. But one of my
I might
students
consider that.
works there, and she had recently moved into a position where she's like the person who now needs to be the front desk for all the foreigners.
Oh.
And she's like, "Fuck, I can't speak English," so she came to study. And I was like, "Well, let's simulate some of the things foreigners want to do. Let's sign me up for a library card." And she goes like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. Walk me through it," because the entire website is in Korean. Of course, I can read Korean, so I can do it.
Right.
But I'm just like, "Oh, what does this say?" And she's like, "Oh, so I gotta translate." I was like, "Exactly,
Yeah.
fucking, just speak English. Go, go, go,
Oh, that's
go,
a
go."
good- that's a good
So it
way
was
to
really fun.
teach
So
somebody.
yeah, I got a ARC and then I'm not an ARC, got a free library
Oh, you can
card.
give me an ARC card? I would love that.
That's a different kind of service.
Feeling them on the back.
That's a different kind of service.
The alleys of Hongdae.
Hannah selling drugs in Hongdae. Brandon selling ARCs in Hongdae.
Bryant selling good times.
Selling good times. Sex pet services.
That's not what I was saying. I was just saying party guy.
Oh no, I'm getting straight in.
So where's Dogger?
That man's in Japan.
This motherfucker.
Having a good time with our boy Ricky.
I know.
Who, if you watched episode about 12, you might
Yeah.
you might
You
know
might have
Ricky.
heard his voice in
You
the
might have heard
background
his
one
voice.
time.
Ricky was our producer,
Producer.
for a week or two.
For a day or two, yeah.
Yeah, top lad.
But I didn't know Dogger's fiance went with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little
So
cute
they're
trip
having
together. Yeah.
They're having a little big party time over there.
I know,
I
because
wish
when
we were
Dogger
invited,
no,
but-
I was invited first.
I think you invite all of us on the podcast.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say because Dogger thought it was first gonna be the boys and Dogger, and the boys go to Japan and meet Ricky,
Mm-hmm.
and then he mentioned it to his fiance, and she was like, "Oh, let's go." And so it became
like,
a
"So, yeah, I'm
so
not
it
gonna
became
mention that
a it
again."
became a Dogger and fiance.
no one said yes when I asked the first time, so I'm just not going to ask again. Hopefully they forget.
But Dogger's super keen, and I'm also super keen on going in winter at the end
Well,
of
we're
the
going
year.
in May, baby.
Big true. Let the good people know what
Should
we're
we
doing
tell
in
them what
May.
we're doing?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm sure we can probably share some stuff on Patreon about it during the process. So me and Brandon, we didn't talk about this last week, did we? Even though did we talk about it on the Patreon? Because was that in the process of all the movie stuff?
We might have mentioned it on the Patreon already.
Yeah,
Mentioned.
but I don't think it's on the main episode. So Brandon and I are planning on going to Japan in May to compete in a 48-hour film festival. Ba-dum-ba-ba. It's gonna be really fun. I'm
It's going to be
excited.
very fun as we battle with Hunter's camera dying every 20 minutes.
Well, we're not using that camera. We'll use this camera. I'll probably rent some lenses and stuff too for us to use. But
What
no,
happened to your lenses?
so I'm talking about some like good lenses, like some movie making lenses, not podcast making lenses.
not lenses that disappear
Yeah.
on a fateful night
That was just
alongside
a 50 millimeter lens. It's not too important.
Hey, 50 millimeters?
It is a great lens actually. I'm
Five
really sad I can't
centimeters is a
find it.
knot. you can do a lot with 5 centimeters.
I have no clue where that lens is. I think it's in a box somewhere. I gotta go through all my stuff. There's some boxes that I haven't looked through yet at my house.
Maybe
I'm sure it's
maybe
somewhere.
there's a pot in that box too.
They came over for my housewarming party and Brandon's pot has disappeared.
It's
I have no
vanished.
clue where it is. It's not in my house. It wasn't in his bag that he took home, and
It was
wasn't.
it
at
was
his
the night
house.
Hunter and I fought, and so I'm convinced Hunter's holding my pot hostage for like a time we fight again, and he can just
Oh, by the
Present the
way.
pot. Hey,
Found your pot.
Found your pot.
Talking about a cooking pot, by the way, not.
Oh,
not,
yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Talking about cookie pot, yeah. Important clarification.
clarification
Yeah.
to make. Yeah, very important.
Him, on the other hand.
Yeah, Brian, on the other
if
hand.
Brian talks about pot.
If I talk about having Brian's pot, that's that's a different story. No, yeah, I'm excited. I think it's
No,
gonna be really fun.
if I lost my pot at your place, I'm beating the shit out of you until it appears.
Until a little baggie falls out of my back pocket.
I'm giving you a cavity search.
Hold up. Whoa.
So it was really funny. So when we first kind of started talking about doing this 48
48-hour.
film festival, I had mentioned it to Dogger at some point when we were out drinking, and Dogger's like, "Yeah, I can go too." And I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "You may not know this, but when I'm trying, I'm actually a pretty good actor." And I was like, "Is this your audition? What's happening right now?"
I don't know why.
I was like, I mean, I
can hear him
guess.
saying that.
I was like, if you want to go, I guess.
After
you
a
can
couple of drinks
come.
in, I can hear Dogger saying that.
I was like, but so we do have an actor already kind of lined up, and so he's going to help us find some other people. We just have to decide kind of how we're going to do language stuff. We got a lot of stuff to figure out. We have time.
It's simple. I write a silent film.
We could, yeah, it could, I guess.
Some body language in there, huh?
Some body language.
Maybe we bring him. Come with.
We need to find. We need to get Country Club's friend to come over, the one that just wants to see some pink. You can help us out a little bit. I didn't tell this on the podcast. I got this job for editing for this YouTube channel, just like a one-time job, one-time video, and it wasn't even a full video edit. They just wanted someone to go through basically a couple hours of footage and piece together a rough cut of a YouTube video. So something that would, when they upload it, be about 10 minutes long. My cut was going to be about 20 minutes. Just make sure all the content's there without anything super fancy, and so they can go back through and cut the smaller version. So this guy's like, "Can you do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it sounds easy enough." He's like, "Okay." We signed the little contract on the freelance website. He sends me the Dropbox links for the footage. He's like, "Here's the video." And I'm like, "Okay, can you give me I haven't even opened the link yet for what the videos are." And I'm like, "Can you give me an idea of what the idea of the video is, just so I know what to be cutting?" And he's like, "Yeah, we went down on the street, Party Bar Street, and we challenged people to unhook this girl's bra with one hand." And I'm like, "Huh?" And I opened the Dropbox link, and it's just videos that the girl is an OnlyFans girl, so it's one of their friends. She's voluntarily a part of this. Just they're staying on the side of the street. She's just blessed, wearing a bra, and they would just challenge random street passerbys to come over and have to reach behind her and unhook the bra with one hand.
How is that a challenge, though?
That's what I thought. And looking through the footage, there were a lot of people who could not do this.
Oh no!
And it was so funny because you'd get these guys walking up and I have all the uncut footage, which is the interesting part to me. So you just have guys walking up and be like, "Yeah, this is so easy, man. Of course, I do this all the time." And they'd reach up, just blank stares, looking into space as they're trying to unhook it with one hand. And 30 seconds goes by, 45 seconds, and he's just like, "Nah, man, I can't do it."
Jesus.
What kind of jobs are you accepting?
So
this is the intro. This is where you start.
Again, I didn't know about this. And so I did this video for them, and I look up his YouTube channel, and it's called, I don't want to say the name of it.
Wait, can you share the footage?
No.
Share the footage, dude.
So I look up his YouTube channel, and all of the videos, every thumbnail is just girls making out or girls
Send the link. What are you
but
doing?
everything's blurred.
How is this the first time we hear about
And
this?
so-
Young boy.
And
I see the water gun. Spreads Bryant.
And so 2 days ago, last night, I went to a PC ball with some friends, and I'm telling one of my friends about this, and I'm like, "Dude, I have to show you this guy's YouTube channel." I look it up. His YouTube channel's banned. It's gone. It's off YouTube. Everything's gone. And I'm like, I was like, did I make this person up in my mind? I'm searching everywhere. I can't find anything about him. I'm looking at his Twitch, nothing's been posted for 4 years. I'm like, is this a memento version of did I imagine everything? Not
This man's
Fight
out
Club.
here editing porn for himself and making up a story about how it's a YouTube guy reaching out for him.
And
So the next time we come over to Hunter's place and we see a little folder that says
It was
projects,
just the
I'm not opening
strangest-
that.
It was the strangest
I'm
video
opening
I've
it.
ever edited. But the greatest part of it all was I had told my brother about it because when they posted the videos, everything was labeled 6th Street. And there's a famous place called 6th Street in Austin, Texas, where my brother lives. And so I texted him and I was like, hey, this guy, I'm editing this video for this guy that does videos on 6th Street. And he's like, my brother's immediate response is, oh God, what kind of videos are those? Like he already knew what was going to be.
And I showed him. Happening.
And I had got another offer from another YouTuber who does like gun videos. And so I was like, oh, my brother will like this. So I texted my brother. I'm like, hey, I got another job for a video channel I think you'll like. And he replied, are you editing more snuff films for YouTube?
Jesus.
I was like, no, this one's normal.
I love how American it is though. Like titties and guns. That's what you're editing, Hannah.
Yeah, titties and guns.
Titties and guns.
That's all I'm editing.
America.
America. No, I'm trying to get some reps in before we go to Japan. Get my editing reps.
So when are we seeing the raw footage?
Oh my god! I'll show you in the Patreon.
I don't see nothing.
Okay.
No, but it also was one of those things where I thought it was a little weird because there is footage of like random people on the street coming up and just flashing the camera.
What?
And so
You're doing this, I'm assuming women.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're hiring like I understand like you have your YouTube editors, right? Yeah, sure. I don't know why I did that for flashing. But you have like your YouTube editors for your channel who are potentially or I guess a little bit more like under contract or under some kind of employment record or something like that. So if the footage leaks out of these random people's boobs on the internet, you kind of know who the culprit is, right? But when you start hiring people off Fiverr to just edit your videos for you and you start sending them all the footage of these people, like I'm a nice person, so I'm not going to do that. But what if I'm just a shitty person and I'm like, oh, this girl's boobs out. I'm just going to post this on the internet. Like, she didn't consent to that being posted. Now, like, what's going to happen? Like, you can't. It's just such a weird thing to be contracting people. I thought it was really like kind of fucked up. So after I did this one for them, I was like, yeah, it was nice, but I'm not gonna do it again. So
once you start like realizing all the weird shit in the world that can be done, it's a scary world we live in. That we just go based on the idea that the people around me are just normal dudes. Hopefully, you know, you kind of just like shit. I just hope the stranger on the train next to me is just a normal dude.
Yeah, doesn't have a giant blade in his pocket.
You don't even have to be a nice guy. Just like a normal dude, you know? Shit.
I just thought it was really strange. So they didn't really vibe with me much. But they paid me a lot of money for that first video, so I was like, whatever.
You know what? Speaking of YouTubers, I sent you that video about like Korea becoming a world player in terms of like, what was it? Weapons manufacturer and supplier.
Oh, yeah.
The fastest growing weapons manufacturer.
Ammunition manufacturer. They did a lot of weapon sales to Ukraine?
To Poland is the biggest one.
Poland, that's what it is.
But yeah, so this guy, the guy that's the host of that channel, like I watch a lot of his videos because he does a lot of different videos about like current situations or biographics and like super projects and everything. I watch that shit every day. But he has a lot of channels. So I was like thinking like, dude, like when I sent it to you, I started thinking, how many channels does this guy actually have? And I looked it up. He has 12 YouTube channels.
Wow.
And all of them have millions of subscribers. Dude is balling.
I mean, that's kind of what you do now. You have to kind of, that's a big thing for like gaming YouTubers as well, is that a lot of their stuff is they'll have their main channel where they post like their highly edited videos. Then they have the VOD channel where they post like the full length recordings of their YouTube channels, and they have their clips channel. Like for us, for our foreign guys one, I just put all of our stuff on the same one. We actually do have a clips channel, but I don't use it.
Oh yeah,
I just made it.
You barely use Reels, so
I've been posting ours.
I know you posted 2.
No, I posted 3.
3 is the third one?
Yeah,
I missed the third one.
I posted 4. There's 3 from episode 33, and I posted one of the ones from episode 23.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My feed hasn't been updating me. Okay.
Yeah. I've been posting them. I have a collection. I'm slowly uploading. I don't want to do it every single day or we'll run out really fast. But
no, this dude like actually has different genre of videos for each one of the channels.
Yeah.
So like one of them is called biographics, for example, very like self-explanatory. But then the other one that I sent you is called Warographics, I think.
Yeah, Warographics, yeah.
And basically it's about like geopolitical situations currently in the world. And there's super projects where he talks about like very big projects that people have been developing. And a lot of the videos recently have been like, for example, the F-35. and like how much money it cost, how much time it took for the development process.
Is that a fighter jet?
Yeah, it's a fourth generation.
F for fighter.
Yeah, that's what I kind of. F for flame.
But no, it's super interesting. And so like every one of these is very different, and fucking 12 channels, dude. I don't know how the man does it.
Does it use the same like channel name on all of them, or are they all different
No,
channel
some of them have similar. So there's like geographics, worographics, biographics.
Gotcha.
But then there's
Teddy's on 6th Street.
That's actually a super like metal name for a band.
no,
You're
there's a
welcome.
few different ones. There's like I think one of them is called like Today I Found Out, and then another one is called Into the Shadows, and it's basically like really dark things happening around the world, or like for example about gang violence in some places. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's great stuff.
I'll check out more from that guy. Yeah, it's a really
Oh,
interesting
definitely.
video.
And like one of my favorites was about the Toyota Hilux, and like how Japan inadvertently created like one of the most used vehicles by any like insurgent group in the world.
Especially North Africa.
Yeah. So yeah, basically because it was, I forget what war it was. I think it was like Chad and Sudan or something.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Yeah, and basically, I think Sudan had like all of these tanks, and Chad only had these fucking Toyota Hiluxes. And they just put in the back, because it's a pickup truck, right? They put in the back these anti-tank weapons, and they just set pickup trucks against tanks, and they fucked up all the tanks.
The tanks can't hit that shit.
and only like they only lost like 3 of the Toyotas. And they did like these tests about like how durable this car is. They would like drop it from like 20 meters high. They would like hit it with shit. They would shoot at it, and then you would just need a mechanic with like basic repairing tools, and he could get it to run again.
But it's also kind of funny because it's like, sure, it's war, but like, can you think of a fucking better review of your product than I'll tell you Hilux fucks
5
up
stars.
tanks.
I took out a tank in this bitch.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of, insurgents writing all your reviews.
Yeah, that's like whenever you see that like typical image in a movie or in a picture of the tacticals, that pickup truck that shows up and it has like a machine gun on the back. That's a Toyota Hilux.
Hell yeah.
Toyota, baby.
Toyota.
Supplying terrorists.
Dude, the thing that I've started noticing recently that I've seen everywhere in Korea is Jeep. I feel like I've never seen Jeeps on the road, but I've seen like 3 or 4 Jeep dealerships in the past like
Really?
2 months.
I
Yeah.
haven't noticed that trend.
I saw one in Gangnam. I saw one in Busan. It was like the most random thing. I was like, why is there a Jeep store here? Who drives a Jeep in
what I
Korea?
saw in Philippines that I thought was very interesting is they have these like really long Jeeps. So basically what they did is they took the Jeeps that were left behind from World War II.
I know what you're talking about. The names are... Oh, fuck. I learned the name like last month. From one of my students who was living in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But I can't
Yeah,
think of the name.
they basically
Yeah.
like they just
Old Jeeps.
managed to somehow change the is it the chassis? I think maybe the chassis. So they just make the skeleton of the car a little bit longer, and then they put in the back these like just kind of like make it a minibus.
Yeah.
And then people just ride them for like $1.
Listen, no, like 10, like cents.
like cents. They just ride them like buses, but they're like, obviously not very safe, and they have no suspension, so
Yeah.
you'll feel every
Bouncing,
fucking
yeah.
bump.
And it's got no AC or anything like that.
Yeah,
no,
You just
nothing.
open windows, go.
Yeah.
But it's just Jeeps.
Yeah.
It's just old fucking World War II Jeeps
But
rolling
they-
around the city.
That's awesome.
Philippines are ending those though.
I saw that they
that's
are
the whole
mandating
movement. Yeah,
them
they're
to-
mandating to end
Yeah.
them because it's
But it's,
affecting like...
my friend was telling me that it
pollution
seems
stuff.
unlikely to actually happen because they are telling the people who own them that they have to pay for it. So they have to get newer vehicles and stop using those, but they have to pay for it. So it's like, how the fuck are they going to do that?
But I know like the biggest cities are going to end them entirely. They're going to get pushed out to the outskirts.
But why is that a thing in the Philippines? I'm curious because like how do World War II cars make their way to the Philippines?
Philippines was an American base.
Ah.
This guy doesn't know anything.
No, I don't. Yeah. I was
Next
curious.
is going to ask about the Vietnamese.
The Vietnamese. Ironically, Rambo 2 was on TV the other day.
Jesus.
That's where this man gets his...
Yeah, that's
all
where
the
he
history
gets his
from,
history
Rambo.
from.
It was like 4:30 in the morning. I know I should be sleeping before 2, Brandon.
Stop.
But-
Hannah, don't tell me when you
And
go to bed anymore.
I'm calling my brother, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "This is gonna sound weird, but I'm watching Rambo 2 on TV." He was like, "On Netflix?" And I was like, "Nope, it's just on Korean TV."
Korean TV always shows random shit. But if you want to hear more about what else you can see on Korean TV,
You can check out our Patreon, where
what
we
is-
tell you the real secrets of Korea
Oh,
that
And
they
all
don't
into
want
the
you
shadows.
to know.
and all of their TV.
But guys, thanks for listening this week. Dari wasn't here, unfortunately.
Probably miss him. And
But-
we love him. You'll see you next time.
He's having more fun than he would have here, I'm sure.
Never. The man's posting on Instagram. No fun.
No, that's how you know he's having fun, is if he's posting on Instagram. Anyway, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.